Hi, First Academic. This video is just a review of the directions for the Monkey's Paw project in case you need to hear them again. This is a YouTube video, so if you need to change the closed captioning and put it in Spanish, you can. Okay, so this is an example of what you're doing. It's called a one-pager. This is for the Telltale Heart, and as you can see, I talk about the characters. I draw a picture of the setting. I have an example of foreshadowing. I have an example of irony. And I have an example of suspense. Now, make sure that you are doing the monkey's paw. Do not do the wrong story, or you will get a 0. All right, so this is for academic 1. So you have a paper with the directions. It's in English and Spanish. You also have, if you can see me here, probably not, this paper here, okay? All right, so for academic 1, you have Monday, Tuesday in class to work on this. It is due on Friday. That's Friday, November 22nd, I believe, same day as your pronoun quiz. Okay, and it counts as a test grade, so this is super important you get this done. All right, so these are the directions at the top of the paper, all right? And basically, you need to make sure you have a title. You have the 4 characters in the story. Remember, those are Mr. White, Mrs. White, Herbert, and the Sergeant Major Morris. Those are the 4 characters. All right. So you write one word that describes each character in English. Now, if you don't know the word that you're trying to think of, you can use Google Translate, and then you need to label it characters. Next one you have is setting. For setting, you draw a picture of the setting. It could be the house, it could be inside the house, wherever. And you're going to label the character, and you're going to label it setting in English. All right. Then for suspense, draw a scene from the story where there's suspense and label it suspense. For irony, the same thing. Draw a scene from the story and that has irony and label it irony. For foreshadowing, the same. Draw a scene from the story that is an example of foreshadowing and label it foreshadowing. Then you need to have at least 4 illustrations. Illustration for setting, illustration for suspense, irony, and foreshadowing. All right. And the whole page needs to be colored like the example. All righty then. So some other things. So the first step, and we talked about this, is using the sort in Google Classroom. We did this in class. The answers are posted with this video in Google Classroom. Decide what scene you're going to use to draw, like for irony, for foreshadowing, for suspense. Okay. And then plan out where you're going to draw the scenes on the paper. Now, on the back of, I know I gave you guys this paper, okay, but this is your planning paper. So this is where you can write down like like the names of the characters and the words you want to use. Write down like what you're going to draw for setting, and you can write what you're going to draw for setting in Spanish. The characters need to be written in English. In the middle, you can write the title. If for irony, describe in Spanish what you're going to write. Where it says foreshadowing, describe in Spanish what you're going to write for foreshadowing. For suspense, describe in Spanish what you're going to write for suspense. And again, remember, you can use the assignment we did for the sort. That's in Google Classroom. Okay, so basically this is what I just said. So in each box, write what you will draw in Spanish, okay, for setting, foreshadowing, irony, and suspense so that you have an idea in your brain of what you're going to put. Then for the characters, write the names of the characters and the word to describe them in English. And then when you finish, show me your work. And then you can start on the final copy. So the final copy is basically a blank sheet of paper, and that's the one you're going to give me, okay? All right, so if you have any questions, just let me know. And I look forward to seeing your drawings of irony, suspense, and foreshadowing in The Monkey's Paw.